Kush and Chemtrails, the world's most dangerous podcast.
How about this one? We're talking about memory existing outside of the brain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Want to jump into that?
Sure.
So check this out, Ronnie D. Ravioli. So, when you think of memory, it's always like, yo, it's in my head. It's in my brain, right? But a lot of people feel that the brain is just a transmitter. It picks up signals, right? And it gives those signals to the body. So using that logic, then when you're walking here, let me give you a physical example. When you're walking through here, dude, let me take this with me.
Smart man.
How's this volume wise? We're good?
Yeah.
All right. So when you're walking through here, this seems like it's just all empty space. That's what we've told ourselves. That's a construct. Oh yeah, there's empty space, right? Mm-hmm. Because we look at things that we can touch as like occupying space. So this is right, but this is all occupied space. It's all part of the hologram. It's a holographic reality. This is all part of it right here. Even this, there is no empty space, is what I'm saying. Okay, so all this is information. It's flowing. It's all ones and zeros or whatever the fuck's going on. Okay, so what I'm saying here is, then for this to exist, what it is space is memory. And we've talked about this in alchemy. So space is memory. So if space is memory and it needs memory to exist right here, what if memory is just something that we tap into on like some sort of ether network? And that's how so instead of the memory being internal, it exists externally in whatever this is, in the holographic reality, and our transmitter picks up on that memory wherever it's at.
Right.
Because it can exist anywhere in the network.
Right.
So we see it as every time we have a memory that, we're having this internally, but it's not. It's external, and the transmitter picks it up, which is the brain. So there's not thought or anything particular behind the brain happening here. It's more of a transmission that you're picking up externally. So that's basically what I was thinking about, because let me read what I put here. It says, space is memory, and memory creates the illusion of time. Yep. Right? Yep. That's what that is. Space is memory. This is all memory and memory creates the illusion of time, because if you didn't remember the past moment, there would be no linear perspective to time.
The reference.
Right. So one more time. Space is memory, and memory creates the illusion of time. Fire away.
What you think, Ron?
Just think those are some of the sights of a blind man. If you blind, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a chair right there. If you move this many spaces or over here, memory is, like he said, that's what put it in my perspective.
That's fire.
It's like a blind man, how he one of his senses.
Right. What popped into my head different too this time when you explained it to me than last time is our concept that we've come to since we, have been doing a lot of research and digging into the metaphysics is all that exists is right now.
Right.
There is no past. There is no future.
Right.
There is no tomorrow. Only thing that's real is right now.
Yes.
So that totally would go into the concept that space is memory, because it only exists because I'm here right now. All that's real, as far as I can determine, is what's really around me and right now present, So yeah, as I move through the space, the memory,
right,
then it's present because I'm present. So all that would matter then, and all that is real, is what the memory I'm tapping into is around me.
Right.
So then,
and as you move through it,
I take
your timestamps. You're leaving timestamps behind. So that seems, as you're pulling up, you're like, there's the future, and the past is behind me, because you could remember passing it. You remember
instantly,
faster than we can even process. Right.
Damn, it's almost like what they're trying to recreate right here, because you just said timestamps, and they keep track of us everywhere we go right here. So yeah, like you always say with technology, they're just trying to take what we do already internally and make it external. And it's a crazy seg you did too, bro. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but you're a mad genius. Mycelium. Mycelium is a freaking network of fungi.
Is that the one under the trees?
Under the trees. They say 40% of like biological matter on Earth, or like living, you know, quote unquote, is mycelium, bro. They outnumber the plants. Like, so they say for every like one tree we see is like the equivalent of like the mass of 100 in mycelium, you know, times 100 factor. Like,
Wow.
So the mycelium, not only what he was explaining, have they come to know now, not only does it just communicate through all the plants and keep like the ecosystem going, but it creates the ecosystem for its own usage. You know what I mean? So for instance, if it's communicating with the different plants and the different trees, not only is it communicating, it helped those particular plants or trees exist so that it could get whatever it needed from that plant or tree.
Almost parasitic in a way.
Yeah, but bringing the life.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Giving life to take the life.
So I bring this up to say their understanding of this organism is that that network exists externally. It's not internal like our neurological network. It's external. So it has a network that communicates and is alive, but it exists externally, similar to...
as opposed to the fungus, you're saying that it would be like the ether for us.
Correct. It's an external network, because Joe even posed the question on the pod. He said, do you think there's a way that humans do that? Communicate like
through the ether,
like the mycelium, you know, through the connections that we don't, you know, we're not able to detect. And I forgot his answer, but it's similar to what you're posing right now.
That's what it is,
through the ether. Yeah. And we always say the quantum, you know, or the,
well, I can't say that's what it is then, but
the field, like
logical.
you've been saying lately, the field. So
yeah,
that's the ether.
Yeah,
I say like group think, or you know, different terms, you know, similar to the same thing. Like we're all talking about, you know, that connection that we all have. Yeah,
hell yeah.
Because I believe that there is no new thought. You know what I mean? It's all, the thought is there and we just tap into it. So,
bro, how many times, see, and this is about the network too, exactly what you're saying. How many times have you had an idea and then within a year you see it come to fruition somewhere else? That's no accident, bro.
Correct.
That's no accident. That's no coincidence.
Right.
The idea is in the ether, bro. It's a shared idea. You have it. Everyone had it. Who acts on it first? It's their idea.
Right. Or who gets the funding, or who gets the maybe even is more successful first, you know? It's all kind of different things, because in the history books we'll remember the Johnson & Johnson. We won't remember the person who they got their start from. Yeah, so
fucking Jackson and Jackson, right. Bro. McDowell's. They won't remember the McDowell's, bro. Damn.
Kush and Chemtrails, the world's most dangerous podcast.